filmed several get ready with me's on this channel, but this morning I was just doing a really quick minimal makeup in the barn using my emergency makeup pouch, just a couple of drugstore products. This Physicians Formula powder is very well loved. Clearly I've hit pan on it. It's really nice that it has a mirror and a brush, and to be honest, it does better as kind of a touch-up powder when I already have my base makeup, my Bare Minerals on. But again, we're going minimal, so I'm just throwing this all over my face. And this palette also has a nice cool toned kind of shadow color. I've never used the warm bronzer shade. That's just not for me. But I put this sort of shadow shade all over my lids and my nose and just around the perimeter of my face and my lips. This is my holy grail, like desert island drugstore product. It's NYX Rocky Road, and it's actually very similar to my all-time favorite Bobbi Brown Chocolate Cherry, which is sort of an earthy red shade. And this just brings so much life and color into my face and just makes me look a lot more polished. I'll put it on my cheeks, my nose, my lips, sometimes on my temples as well. But this is really all I needed for today to just get myself together to talk with you.
Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's a very sunny day in January, so I'm trying to not be blinded, and please excuse the construction noise. The siding is still going on the barn, as you will have seen in my last video, but today I'm going to spend some time outside, which I feel like I really need, and I'm going to harvest my willow, which is behind me. I have my harvest from last year in the loft in the barn, and I'm hoping that between last year's harvest and this year's harvest I'll have enough to actually do something with. Future video project. This January sun is just so blinding and bright, and I really can't tell what you can see behind me, but I'm gonna start by harvesting the willow in my bed. And I'm gonna use a 5-gallon bucket. Last year I pretty much filled up a full 5-gallon bucket, including some cuttings from around the pond edge. So last year I experimented with cutting back accessible branches along the pond edge. So I'm actually going to try to go out on the ice a little bit to harvest some of those native cuttings. But I'm gonna start with the ones in my willow beds. So this little ugly stump is basically what it looks like when I cut everything back. This is one that I have not cut yet, so you can see my previous cuts here, and then it promotes shoots that I can then use to weave with. Something interesting that happened with this stump, because it's hard to focus on, but this one shoot seems to have rooted itself under this rock. So I'm going to let that do its thing, and I could strategically like try to root some of these runners, but as it is, they're pretty close to the bed edge. So I will continue cutting them all back. So I did get a pretty beefy willow harvest here, if you can see in my bucket. the plants are definitely getting stronger as I keep cutting them back over multiple seasons. So I'm gonna take you handheld out onto the ice and show you where I've been trying to train some native willow, and they're not coming out as beautiful as these long weaving stems right along the water's edge here. Ozzy is enjoying this too much. The sun is so strong, I don't know how much longer the ice will be walkable. So I cut back this branch, and it has sent up some shoots, but most of them don't really look that healthy. But I'm trying to train the whole branch along here because it's accessible and I'd be able to harvest it when I can't walk on the ice. So I'm just gonna keep cutting it back, and hopefully over time, as has happened with my willow plants in the garden bed, the cuttings will get beefier if this branch wants to work with me. I also cut some of these branches along out this way, and again, I can't tell if there's anything really viable, like worth saving, but I'm gonna continue to cut the first year sprouts off in this area. Shoots, not sprouts, I don't know. Dead at the top though. See? It's like, this would be a nice upright, but yeah, unfortunately it's dead at the top. That one's pretty good, except also dead at the top. I wonder why. It's not an ideal cut. Sorry. My back hurts from that. So, I think I'm gonna go inside. That's enough being outside for me right now. But look at these, like, beefies. These are pretty nice though, except that the tips are kind of gnarly, but for like upright, for fencing or for garden structures, you want something like thicker as an upright. And I do want to experiment with hazel because we have some of that as well, which I've never touched in terms of cutting it back. But I think that could be good for uprights. Or maybe the native willow. I'm up in the loft where I've been storing my willow. So this was my harvest from last year, which I can tell, well, it's very dried, so you can see the color is a lot more red, but I can also tell that more of this is the native willow, because it just has kind of like a wilder look. It's less straight, and you can tell that the weaving varieties have been bred to be really good for weaving. So this was what I had last year. As I said, it's all dry, and I've just stored it in this 5-gallon bucket, which something on my to-do list is to figure out a better storage for it. But vertical space is easier right now. But this is my bucket from this year, which I already showed you, but you can just tell they're so much longer, and you can just tell that I got so much more, and that this is a bit more of a refined variety. In my willow cuttings, sorry to whip you in the face, my willow cuttings video that I made in the summer, I believe I said that these are green dicks, which I started as cutting, whipping you again. So if you're interested in how I started the cuttings, check out that video. But it's exciting to know that I will exponentially be getting a bigger and bigger harvest each year. And I hope that between 2 years of harvest, this looks like a mess, but this is the combination of the 2 years. And I have a lot of things that I want to do, like fencing projects. I actually need to make kind of like a retaining wall for a big meadow project that I'm going to start this summer. I don't know if I'm going to have enough of this willow to really do that, because in my summer willow video, I'm trying to think, Willow is Your Friend, I think that's what it was called. I showed like some garden structures that I made, and you need a lot of willow to make a garden structure, and I'm sure even more to make a fence. So not quite sure what I'm gonna do with it. This year's harvest needs to dry properly, and then it all needs to be rehydrated as well. So more to come on what I'm gonna do with this, but for now I'm keeping it in my studio in the loft for safekeeping. And thank you so much for watching. I hope that this was enjoyable. It's difficult to film outside. I know there's a lot of audio issues as I've been editing this footage, so thank you for bearing with me, and I will see you very soon in my next video.